This is a video on how to replace the throttle body on this one is a 2004 Jaguar X-Type 3-liter engine. So we're gonna throw in this new throttle body. The first thing I'm gonna do is prepare the throttle body for installation. I bought this unit brand new on eBay for about 580 bucks or so. These are special screws, they're not Torx, they actually have 5 points. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just replace them with a standard head screw so I can make adjustments later if I have to. Okay, just have to break it loose. Just like that, and I replace the screws one by one so it doesn't go out of factory adjustment. These are basically just M4 screws by 12mm long, and the screws I'm gonna use basically bought at a local hardware store. We'll stack a lock washer on the screw just like the original was, and a flat washer. Put it in there, tighten it. I wouldn't go much longer than 12mm because I don't know how deep those threads are, but that's what the original measured. It doesn't have to be super tight not to strip out those threads. Alright, so now we have a standard screw in there, so now we can loosen it up if we need to and make some fine adjustments. Next we're gonna quickly remove the filter. I usually just leave the screws in there so don't lose them. You don't have to come all the way out. This guy. Slip this out from the air intake, just like that. Set this to the side. This guy out, his tube. Remove the air intake valve over there. tell, this is not the original clamp. I replaced the clamp already from the pincher type. I like these one gear type better. I'm going to disconnect the electronics. This one doesn't have a tab to push in anymore, so I'll just slide it off. And so tab here. Push it and slide that one off. That's a locking tab. So I was able to rig up this sensor earlier with those standard screws, made an adjustment that basically fixed the link mode problem, but I don't know how old this unit is, so I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna just replace it with a brand new unit. The way I fixed this is I basically adjusted the sensor position slightly so it wouldn't trip the computer anymore. It was a code I believe 0121 or something like that it kept coming up with. So I'll just remove these screws, 4 screws holding the body in place. Those are pretty long screws, so what we'll do is we'll just crank them out. I usually even loosen the screws in a cross pattern, just like they tightened. The interesting part about this throttle body is that they actually have a couple of hoses connected to it near the bottom, and those hoses carry cooling water, not gasoline but cooling water, so if we spill some we should be okay. But they have to disconnect it. On to wrestling with those hoses. The way those hoses come off is there's a couple of clamps on there, just to be squeezed together all the way to the stop and just slipped off. They have a built-in stop here, so they don't get overstrained if somebody's squeezing too hard. There we go. Those hoses can create a mess, so throw some paper towel under there to at least catch some of that. At least the bear grip wrestling match with those. Budge. That's probably the worst part of the whole installation here. Let's get it going. Whoa. It was a bigger mess than I thought. Alright. See the damage. That's the old unit and the big mess. The engine was still warm, so maybe the pressure was a little bit higher in there than it should have been. Alright. Since it's cooling water, I don't think it makes much difference which one goes where, but let's just be precise about it. Put the clamps in there. Back in place. Future. Back to where they were. Indentation. Now what we have to do is put the screws back. Let's make sure that it's nice and clean. Take this protective lid off. the engine is still warm. This tube here is actually hot. Pressed 4 times, so it wasn't an option. Oh great. Where did you go? Time for the magnet. I tell you, these guys are handy. Applying more torque. Tight. At this point we can reconnect the electricals. Clean. Just flood the head. Reconnect this side tube. Sometimes on these connections I put a little bit of grease on there to have those slip in easier. This is a little bit of grease. That makes it easier to push in there. Tighten this. up. Nice and snug, so it's sealed. Doesn't have to be super tight. This one is in, so put this canister looking thing back. By a single screw. Not too tight, it's plastic. Just alright. After I tighten all those screws, I'm gonna see if the engine's gonna start up quick. Good. All this goes back. Done. is looking good. Doesn't look like the water level went down too much. So it's all good. See if it starts again. Usually when the car acts up and goes into limp mode, the RPM actually rises. It's about 2000 RPM, but it doesn't go higher than that even if the gas pedal is pushed. I think I'm gonna hold on to this old unit just in case. Well, that's it. That's the new unit right there. So thanks for watching.